So once that's in there, once that's, again, with the following proper safety protocol, you will take your steel wool or your fake steel wool and burnish that inside, and then you can put your oil in there. And if you look inside that piece that's going around now, you'll see that it's been sealed and oiled and burnished. It's what?
That's a smooth, it's
Decorative. Okay, any questions? Where's that thing there? Yeah, well, you can let the folks in the back see it, and I could, we'll talk about some questions and stuff if you have them. But I want everybody to see what that looks like before we go on to the next step. And the next step is fitting that collar, okay? And yes, the way I do that is I'll take 3/4 or 1 inch stock, and again with a Forstner bit, just drill a hole about 3/16, 1/4 of an inch deep, and put it in expansion mode. In my jaws, turn it round and measure the approximate diameter of this hole, and I've cleaned it up, okay? So I said before that this is a little bit big. I've cleaned this up. I'll show you how to do that. This is a square nose scraper that I've ground on the sides, and again by grinding it on both sides I've made 3 tools actually, because now I have a scraping edge on the left, the front, and the right. Okay. And I'll clean up this hole here. So now I'll measure that with a pair of dividers. Okay, so I know this diameter. And then I'll transfer that diameter to what's going to be my top. Okay? And then using this same scraper, using the other side, I'll make a tenon that is just too big to fit that hole. Because I found you have much better luck changing this by a 1/16 of an inch so this fits, as opposed to changing this by a 1/16 of an inch to get it to fit in there.
Don, you use your carbide cutter for the final finish. You said even though it's more aggressive, but that gives you your...
But you do it very lightly. Now, here, I just did this with I just did it with those couple of tools. I did it with that carbide scraper, and I stuck a piece of 80 grit paper in there for 30 seconds. And you can see that it's fairly decent. I mean, if you took your time, got your wall thickness the way you wanted it, used that carbide tool to get everything nice and smooth, sanded it to 220, shellacked it and oiled it, you've got a very nice inside. Okay, so here's my tenon. It doesn't fit, and it doesn't fit. Well, that's actually kind of a lot. But we'll have to sneak up on it. That's a great question. The depth of the tenon is more than the thickness of the hole.
So you're all going to end up with a look.
I want this to stick into the vessel. All right. That way, I can cut this down to match this. Otherwise, I'd be cutting this to match this, and I would be changing my dimensions of my vessel.
What kind of wood is that being passed around?
This?
No,
Is walnut.
walnut?
Yeah. I found it. I found it in my pile. I was looking for something to make 3 things out of it. See, now that fits, but I want a little bit of more room for the glue. This is kind of a little esoteric, but if you want to do this, and you find that you have oily woods or woods that you're afraid aren't going to glue up well, you can take the corner of this and now I've cut a little groove like an O-ring groove inside there. So now I have some space for some glue to go, and you can do the same thing on here. So now you have a place for glue to expand into the wood itself. Okay, so this should fit. Yep. And I use CA. I've heard people say that, well, 20 years from now, the CA is going to give out and your piece is going to fall apart. Hopefully I'll be long gone by then.
At least out of the state.
Out of state. All right, I will put some stuff inside, and this is thick CA. I would, if I was doing this, you know, at home, if I was really making a piece, I would spend a little bit of time looking at grain orientation and that kind of stuff, because you want the grains to kind of match up. you want it to kind of look like it fits together. Okay, so now I have my collar glued in there. I really would prefer a live center with a point on it, which I should have brought from home. And I will shape this thing before I do anything on the inside, because... Oh, good. Boy, that is good enough for fantastic. That's pointy. Just enough to hold it in place.
Is that zebra one?
Yeah.
I can smell it over here.
It smells like elephant shit, doesn't it?
Circus is in town.
Yeah, yeah, it smells just like the circus. When you get close, now you can drill out the middle.
They'll finish the outside first, please.
No. I guess you could. I mean, that's
What do you do?
either one way or the other. Yeah, either way. Let's finish the outside first.
Well, but then if you get it hollowed out and you don't like the shape, you slowly...
You've got, yeah, that's right. You've got a little bit of leeway that way.
If you don't quite match the curve or something.
Yeah. It's all about giving you options. The other, let's talk about options again. When you're making this vessel, and you think you want to do it with, and you want to make one of these hollow forms with the collar on it. Many times I've done the vessel, and the vessel has come out so nice, and the inside has come out so nice that I say this is worthy of a box. And rather than put this collar on it, I'll just insert a ring in it and then make a box out of it. Or vice versa. If you think you want to make a box and you say, hey, this wood is not finishing properly, the inside's giving me a pain in the neck, let me put one of these collars on it and hide it. All right, so this gives you some options that you can change your mind
Really big copper.